Hey guys, and welcome back to Dempsey Plays. Today's video we're going to be teaching you guys how to utilize the controls when it comes down to our firearms and such. Now this is pretty much universal throughout all the firearms, pistols, shotguns, rifles, pretty much basically the same. It's pretty much universal, so don't want to over explain it for you guys, but we will be demonstrating our 1911 and our KAS-74U, basically the AK. So just bear with me here. So we're going to be talking about how to how to basically do the how to utilize the basic functions for a firearm. So as you can tell, I've got this AK in my hands. Now, if I wanted to equip it, obviously, to one of my shoulders or whatnot that are not in use, obviously, all I would have to do is hit triangle once when I hover over the AK itself. However, demonstrating how to load and unload firearms. So I'm going to go ahead and take the magazine out of my firearm. Now I'm going to show you guys how to unload it, and that's simply by double tapping triangle. Again, PlayStation controls. So as you can tell, I have unloaded by that little demonstration. I have unloaded my AK-47. That bullet icon is no longer there. So I'm going to. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise. I'm going to go ahead and go over to my AK magazine. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on my shoulder, and I'm going to go back to my AK magazine, which is somewhere down here. Equip that into my hands. Now, as you can tell, each round or each magazine can contain 30 rounds. This bullet all the way down here that fell into our inventory, once when we ejected it, we can combine. Combining allows us to load a magazine by pressing R2, your trigger button and whatnot. Now, as you can hear and tell by what our character's animation and by listening to it, he has loaded a magazine for our AK. So we're going to put that magazine back into our inventory, and we're going to go ahead and equip the AK into our hands. So now, just to make sure that I get the right AK magazine, I do have two of them. This one has 7. I'm going to want to choose the loaded magazine. We're going to go ahead and hit combine. That is going to automatically chamber, as you can tell by that animation. It's going to go ahead and chamber and load one magazine. Now, another way that DayZ doesn't really tell you how to do it is by utilizing triangles. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and take that magazine out of our gun into our inventory, and I'm going to go ahead and hold down triangle. Now it has successfully loaded the correct magazine that I wanted to use for this, and since our gun was already chambered, we didn't have to rechamber it. But rechambering is simply just pressing double tap the triangle button. As you can tell, a bullet flew out, and we're going to go ahead and shoulder this, or I'm sorry, we're going to go ahead, bring that back out, take the magazine out, shoulder our weapon, and then go back to our magazine and load it once again. The process is very similar. This is just teaching you guys a few extra ways how to do it. Again, sometimes DayZ just doesn't prompt you on how to do things. Next up, we're going to do the pistol. Very similar process. Let me go ahead and go back to the AK. We will use our wheel here. That makes it just that much more easier. We're going to hold down triangle, and we have successfully reloaded. Now that's a way quicker way of doing it. As you can tell, when the first time I did it, I went into my inventory, had to go all the way down to the bottom here and load it by hitting triangle or circle on the magazine. That was a way quicker way of utilizing that, holding down triangle. And so we already have another magazine. So let's say that this magazine is empty. I'm going to go ahead and hold triangle once again. It's going to take out that mag and switch it out with that other one that I have. So I'm going to do that one more time just so we get the right one. and boom, there you have it. So that's a lot faster than just going into hitting your touchpad, going over to your inventory, finding the magazine, hitting circle on it. That's a lot faster. Utilizing that triangle button or Y for Xbox, it's just going to be that much more simpler. So we're going to go switch over to the 1911 now. So very similar process, like I said. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead, take the magazine out, dechamber our weapon by double tapping triangle. There we have it. One bullet is out. We're going to go ahead and put this back in our inventory, find that magazine. This is a way harder process, like I demonstrated for the AK. We're going to find that magazine, load it back up with the 45 ACP, combine it, load it, put the magazine back in our inventory, bring out our 1911, and now we are going to rechamber it by holding triangle, inserting the magazine, and then putting one in the chamber. So once again, we have 6 rounds. Let's say that's like 2 rounds in the magazine. I want to top it off. We're going to hold triangle once again. It's going to switch out a magazine that we no longer need with one that we do need. So I'm going to go ahead, put this back in our inventory, and find that 6 bullet magazine and insert it the hard way, just because I like to keep it simple. So guys, that's pretty much it. Most controls are going to be very similar, especially when we're talking about shotguns, and when we're talking about other weapons, double barrel shotguns. The 308 rifle that I have on me right now is going to be very similar. It utilizes 2 shells and whatnot. I don't know if I can demonstrate that. Yes, I can. So, whoops. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to this guy. As you can tell, top left corner, I have 2 rounds. That means that the weapon only can take 2 rounds. If it was a magazine, you would see down here a magazine. One other thing to add is your attachments. We're going to go ahead and talk about attachments real quick. So let's slide over to the AK. Actually, let's slide over to the 1911. That actually has some attachments. I'm not going to be able to because of too much stuff in my inventory. So I'm going to get rid of that sledgehammer, equip that AK, bring that 1911 back in, and we're going to talk about attachments and such. So as you can tell, I've got a suppressor, a flashlight, and a magazine. So that is the only 3 attachments I'm allowed for this weapon. If I wanted to switch over, let's switch over to the AK real quick, and I can demonstrate some of the other attachments it allows. So I can have a stock if I wanted to. I can have a ghillie suit, a ghillie wrap for this AK, and I can also have a suppressor for this AK. Now, depending on the weapons, I can also add a another optic should I find one that's compatible with this rifle, and then switch it out if need be. Let's say this one's like badly damaged and I want to switch it out for a pristine one. All you have to do is hit square on that. It'll take it off, put it in your inventory, and then utilize the other one just by simply let's go ahead and take this optic off. So let's say I want to switch it off for a pristine one. We're going to go find that pristine one in your inventory, and then we're going to hit combine on it, and then it has already attached it to my weapon. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're going to equip that, bring out the 1911, and demonstrate that. So let's go ahead and take off the suppressor. Once again, the suppressor is off. We're going to go ahead, slide over to the 1911, sorry, is already in our hands. We're going to go over to our inventory, and we're going to hit combine on it. Now it's going to take me out of my inventory, but as you can tell, the firearm is already attached and equipped with the suppressor. So it's just that simple. I just wanted to go over this for you guys to demonstrate some of the basic controls that DayZ offers that may not be so easily explainable by just looking at the buttons that it prompts you to use. So with that pretty much said, guys, I hope this video really helped. There is a lot to learn in DayZ. Different controls, different different resources, different stuff. It can be a little difficult browsing through, but utilizing your wheel like we did so, and then utilizing your holding down triangle to quick reload, if you will, instead of going through your inventory, hitting combined and reloading that way. This makes it a little bit easier for those sticky situations you find yourself in. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned a few things from this video. I hope it helped you in the long run. Take care. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one.